Hello and welcome back to What If I Was in the Dragon Ball Universe, Part 8. I apologize for the long wait, but it's been a busy month. Last time, Raisin found himself in a difficult situation as his meta-knowledge became useless to this non-canon threat, as the Demon King Piccolo and Piccolo Jr. fused to create Super Piccolo. Said Super Namekian created three offsprings, Fiddle, Trumpet, and Clarinet, who went off to attack three cities throughout the world, causing the Dragon Warriors to separate to fight them. Through the sacrifice of the Great Saiyaman, which is Raisin's body double, the Fiddle was destroyed, and with Roshi using his full power, Trumpet died as well. However, Clarinet survived his wounds and returned to his father as a failure. His father, Super Piccolo, is now on the move to West City, taking the Pilaf's gang's flying fortress to, be his typical villain self for presentation. During this time, Bulma has been in the Capsule Corp lab working on a device, the Kaioken Cannon, which was developed based on witnessing Raisin using the Kaioken technique. It works a lot like the concentration ring from the Yu Yu Hakusho series. It takes all the user's remaining ki and focuses it into one blast. It's sort of like a suicide, self-destruct, only the person doesn't die and it is a beam instead of, explosion. But it's very risky as it's hit or miss, you only get one shot. And Tien, who had lost his arm during his fight to Fiddle, is under surgery to get a prosthetic replaced. Now this isn't going to be the affair of the android arm or Mecha Frieza. It's just going to be something probably more similar to the claw from the Inspector Gadget. Now, please enter in the comments below what do you think Tien's going to do with his new arm. Is he going to get it upgraded to bigger and better things in the future, or is he going to eventually get a wish on Shinron to get it back to flesh and blood? While Tien's indisposed, the rest of the warriors are in the gravity chamber training. That includes Roshi, Chaozu, Yamcha, Krillin, Goku, and Raisin. Raisin initially uses his body double technique to split into him two copies to fight Krillin and Goku. However, because he lost such a substantial amount of power when the Great Saiyaman was destroyed, he loses after a little. He gets beaten down pretty quickly and has to be put into a healing pod to recover. However, thanks to his healing factor from his wish from Shenron, he recovers in a rather short time and gets his crawler boost, becoming stronger still. Over the next few hours, the other Z fighters, including Krillin, gets defeated and has to get healed. Goku takes the longest because he's the strongest, but eventually he gets beaten down and will get put in a healing pod, hopefully getting a rather large Zenkai boost. When the Flying Fortress finally arrives, Piccolo leads his two offspring onto the city, as well as an army of robots. In a very Avenger-esque fight scene, the Pilaf gang are controlling them through a rather video game-esque real-time strategy game, attacking the city with, I'm going to say, about 100 robots. Piano, who ends up facing off against Yamcha and Chaozu, who has been forced to train under his father-brother Super Piccolo, and has become stronger in the mid-300s in terms of power level. Clarinet seeks revenge against Krillin for being bisected by the Destructo Disc, and their fight continues. The Piccolo himself ends up fighting against Roshi and Raisin. With rice cooker in hand, Roshi quips about Piccolo having a good idea about wishing for his youth back, as Super Piccolo initially doesn't recognize the Turtle Hermit. Raisin ends up using the Kaioken for the first time against an opponent to face off against the Namekian, but is unaccustomed to using the ×2 variant that he needs to keep up with him, as he did not expect to have this type of enemy until Raditz shows up many years later. So Roshi is necessary to hold the Mufuba over Piccolo's head. Anytime Raisin starts getting beaten down too much, he retreats back to Roshi, and the Mufuba is used to drive Piccolo, the threat of the Mufubas drives the Super Namekian away. Tien eventually gets out of surgery and cuts a swath through the robots to get to Chaozu's side. Piano, being overwhelmed by the three-eyed warrior, retreats. Or flees. Goku finally recovers and is accompanied by Nuzzy into the field, who instructs him on how to activate the Kaioken cannon, before splitting off from him to fight robots in defense of the city. At this time, Piccolo has finally defeated Raisin to the point where his stamina can't keep up with his healing factor, or vice versa, and is unable to fight back. Staying outside of Roshi's range, Piccolo charges up something very similar to the Special Beam Cannon to finish off his opponents. At this point, Goku wants to take up the fight for himself, but is convinced by Raisin and Roshi to just use the Kamehameha to fight back against the beam. The Kaioken Cannon buffs it so to the degree that Piccolo can't withstand it. The multiplied attack defeats Super Namekian. A now quite outnumbered Clarinet surrenders. Kami, who is now on the lookout, mentally contacts the future Z fighters and urges them to finish off Piccolo, realizing that he's too weak to continue to be the Guardian of Earth. However, the Dragon Balls are still needed to repair all the damage that has been done in the last few days, so they decide not to kill Piccolo, at least not yet. Realizing that he is not part of this plan at all, Clarinet uses the last of his energy to blast his way to freedom. During this chaos, Piccolo uses the distraction to slink away, suppressing his energy signature so that he can't be followed. Although not a flawless victory, the day has been saved, and with Shenron's assistance, they wish for all of Piccolo and his subordinates' damage to be restored, meaning their citizens are revived and the cities that were wrecked are now back to their previous state. Capsule Corp releases a interview that it was a result of an alien invasion that had occurred, and that one of their devices was used to repair the damage. Raisin secretly chuckles at how accurate this statement really is. Now, in the follow-up, Raisin and Nuzzy are dictated to take the Capsule Corp space shuttle to make first contact with future alien races to prevent such an invasion to happen again. Raisin contacts King Kai to find a planet to facilitate this thing. He gives him the yada yada instructions about having a friendly race with energy abilities, which basically leaves King Kai with Namek or Yardrak as possibilities. Considering how much the Namekian race has caused trouble on Earth, he sends the couple to Yardrak to meet aliens for the first times. Goku and Chi-Chi will get married in this story, as you have a even healthy relationship compared to canon, with her respecting his need to be a fighter, since Super Piccolo is still the strongest being on the planet. Even though the Kaioken cannon can't put him in his place, he's still significantly stronger than anyone else still on Earth. And with the food beam that Goku and party got from that first wish, he can support the family without relying on the Ox King's fortune. And Gohan is born as per normal. Krillin, who has spent a lot of time with Kami, is now going to be the new apprentice to the Guardian of Earth. And everyone is training to become stronger to handle the other threats around the Earth, as the Pilaf gang with Piano in tow, Clarinet, who is a rogue agent, and Super Piccolo, who is the world's strongest, are still a constant threat. And there's an annual competition for the Dragon Balls every time they reactivate, with Wish usually revolving around repairing the damage that is done during the conflict. Now, that's where we're going to end it, with the part 9 coming up, with Dragon Ball Z finally starting. Now, I got a few questions for all you. For starters, Raisin and Nuzzy are going to have a child. I'm kind of leaning towards a girl, but I'm open to suggestions. I definitely need some help with names. Secondly, will Krillin be the new Guardian of Earth? And can he get access to the Dragon Balls? Is it something that he can wish on Shenron, or they have to go over the head and talk to Purunga about getting the Dragon Balls attached to an Earthling? And then we have, any other pairings with, Roshi now being young enough to actually date, and Tien, being in the city. And finally we have Yamcha and Bulma, who are actually well off together, because Yamcha was, lazy and, I think he cheated on Bulma in canon, but in this story, he is a dedicated warrior to protecting the Earth. So I see their relationship continuing, and I think they're going to have a kid. I'm, again, leaning towards having that kid be Bra, only being her a full human child, but let me know in the comments down below what you think about these upcoming events. Thank you. Have a good day.